Anyway, let's have a look. I'm not too scared yet, because if you remember on Sunday I was looking for a back test on the weekly time frame of here. I thought it was possible we could just shoot up, but that never happened, only because I was looking at the previous time in October. Here you see here it just shot up without back testing anything. Here we're obviously in a very different type of price action, and I thought the other option was back test of this kind of this area here. We're losing the point of control. That's very bearish. But really the bearish part of losing the point of control is testing it, is back testing it. We haven't back tested it yet, so until we do, it's still okay. We're still okay until we back test the point of control. It's not bullish until, or bearish. It's just we just have to see a clean rejection from the point of control. Until we do, then we still have to think that we're just coming back down to test. As you can see, most of the volume of this range has been put at the point of control. So you know, when the price comes underneath the point of control, it's always a little bit bearish, especially when you're at the top of the range. It's a lot better for the point of control to be at the bottom of the range, a lot better. But in this circumstance, as you can see, we're not getting that love. That being said, I do think that this area is important. This area is important, yeah. And it's an area, it's not an exact line. You've got resistance, 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 rejection. Resistance, break, test. This is the test, okay? So in the same way that we were finding resistance here, I think it'll be very important to see a test, right? And now we're getting the test. We're getting the test. The other thing that I want to see potentially is, oh, and actually just looking at this value area. Oh, I've lost my value area low. I don't know what's happened to it. Let me just pull it again. Value area low. That's fine. Yeah, so can't see any changes in the volume area, but I have seen on X someone talking about this, just some kind of trend line over there or there. Doesn't really matter. Probably from this one to this one, with this one being a little, you can see it's holding support here, even though it goes through, it tests, and then shoots. That was the first impulse, you know. Maybe that is your diagonal, leading diagonal that altcoin dreaming was talking about. And if it is, and the thing about this is, I think you'd want to see like an ABC, wouldn't you? ABC, something like that. That would make sense. Rejection of the point of control, that gets people bearish. So I think we do have to go up to reject. I don't know how far we'd have to go down first before we go back up. And then a nice kind of ABC pattern to get a really good launch pad from this high volume node. Flip the point of control to the lower part of this range, back to this lower volume node, and then you'll get a lot of people bearish, but actually that's kind of what you need for an impulsive move. Just front running the point of control, maybe it actually comes in, just taps it, or I don't know. It's hard to tell with liquidity how liquidity works, if there's enough sell volume at that level or not, if there's enough limit orders at that level or not. Okay, no one really knows. So I saw that on someone else's X account, and yeah, it's definitely feasible. You're losing this area, which I'm interested in, so I actually do think we could hold here and just go up. Oh fuck, oh fuck me, oh fuck me. I think it's very possible that we just go up. This is very possible. but I don't know if it's going to happen. It's really hard to know. Timing is really important too. And I think it's the more likely that we kind of hold here, the more likely that we do go up. But if we just bounce now, then I think it's more probable that we are looking for some kind of corrective move like that. So if you get like a downer bounce back into the if it's bouncy, then I think it's likely we go down. But if suddenly we just kind of start just kind of doing this, then maybe we are actually just finding support. Okay, so that's what you want to see. You want to see support. A support doesn't come from just one bounce. It comes from the price finding it difficult to get through a certain level. That becomes support. You want to see the support. Yeah, and in this context, what we want to see is a little bit of prolonged support here. And maybe some bullish divergences. Okay. And maybe we can actually go up and squeeze up. That's kind of what you want to do. You want the shorts to load up. So they need time to load up. Maybe off a rejection and then for a squeeze up and then up. Okay, so in my imagination, something like that is possible. But if we just get a straightforward down and bounce, you know, bounce, then maybe actually we're looking to go lower, you know, if it gets bouncy. And that's just traders buying and selling at the right levels, taking profit quickly, and actually the real accumulation is more likely to happen somewhere around here. And that would work in terms of timing because you're looking for potentially some kind of let me have a look. Yeah, look, 1-to-1. It's basically the end of October, beginning of November. You're looking for a 1-to-1, and then maybe you do have some kind of diagonal wave, and if we can kind of come back off this trend line, that would be nice. Point of control, high volume node, and then that will be the area to look for a reaction, and then maybe from there we can launch into space or not, who knows. The other thing that's also possible is a fake out of this trend line, but I think whatever happens, if you fake out of a trend line, you still have to retest it. So let's just say somehow we kind of go down here and we don't really get a bounce. So you get a little kind of bearish price action like that. You're losing the trend line. Get everyone's all bearish. And it kind of, I don't know, I still think there's some kind of harmonic here in play, potentially. Something like that. Not 100%. On the higher, on the wider, yeah. And the timings would be different. The timings would be kind of more like this. Something like that. So I think that's possible too. Rejection down, failure and down. That's actually bullish. It's like a bullish harmonic. And then you still want to go up. You still want to go up, reclaim that trend line that you lost. I think that's the best long here, to be honest with you. But you just have to bear in mind that traders will take profit here. They will. After the bounce, they will take profit. And we'd have to see how vigorous that bounce is. Because if you get a violent one and get back above that trend line, that would be confirmation for continuation. If not, then it's just traders taking profit, coming back into resistance. It'll be back into the point of control or this high volume node, and then we have to see what happens. So I think this is my favorite type of price action, but again, I think it's bearish. So let me just have a look at what kind of harmonic it looks like. I looked at it yesterday. I didn't like it, but cipher. It'd be a cipher. I'll show you. This is like a cipher. It's a bullish cipher. There it is. See that? It's a bullish cipher. There, that one there. So that's a correct harmonic based on time. It would kind of be about the 3rd or the 4th of November, just before the American election. And then that's when you get the bounce. And then if Trump wins, we're going to the moon. And if not, then maybe it's just the traders will just take profit back into some resistance for continuation. Maybe then we are going further down. So you always have to bear that in mind, because you have this clean trend line that has to break to get back up. And if traders, if we can't find support here, I really think if we get a bounce now, we reject from the point of control. It's likely we bounce again and then bounce and then break. Yeah, that will make this whole situation really bearish. If we can come down on time based on this harmonic and hit this golden pocket, which would also be a swing failure of this level. Okay, I think if you get a swing failure with a nice reaction off the golden pocket, that would be quite bullish. Back into the value area, obviously, and then traders will take that trade and they'll look to kind of take it right up to there. Getting back into the value area is bullish, okay, but you still have to get back above some kind of arbitrary trend line that we've broken down from. Maybe there's two, actually. Maybe there's two trend lines. Maybe there's this one as well. Maybe as you break down, you just lose it and come back into this one. These outer pivots, these outer pivots. So you've got to, but I still think you still have to get back above that high volume node. You still have to get, so there's a lot of things that, even though you're seeing strength, you really want to see impulsive strength. So at the moment, I think there's a few things playing out. Do we bounce or from here? Do we consolidate here? Do we lots of questions. I think it would be nice if the price could hold here for a few days and then go up. If we just kind of bounce, then I think we're probably going to get a rejection at the point of control, this actual value area here, for going further down to this high volume node here. And if the high volume node, this is the question, if the high volume node flips back into the point of control and the price can find support, then it's possible we go up like that, and we're just finding support of this trend line. And if not, if we get a really weak bounce, not enough interest, and then we're probably looking to go a bit lower down into this golden pocket, lose the value area. But actually that will just be a liquidity take of this pivot, and it would actually be quite bullish because you're completing this cipher harmonic. Okay, the cipher harmonic doesn't have to play out, it's just if you do come on time at that specific location, you could take that trade. It'd be a nice trade to take, actually, on a swing failure of that pivot. So these are kind of the different bearish options. I think you have to focus on it level to level. I haven't seen a clean rejection of the point of control yet, so I am looking for that on the way up. Okay, so if I see that, then you'd probably want to see a clean rejection, and you also probably want to see some kind of bearish divergence too. So we're coming into this area where we're going to find a little bit of support here. Do we kind of go up, bounce, or the other? If it's bullish, I think it's more likely that we'll come down here and just find support, just literally find support, little bullish divergence, and we're heading right back up. Okay, so no one knows, no one can predict what's going to happen, really. It'd be nice, I think it'll be nice, like, this is the thing that I was thinking. I think the betting markets are quite bullish for Trump winning, aren't they? Actually, let me just put this in its own group. Bullish. Can hide that. The betting markets are quite bullish for Trump winning, and I think if this market, if the crypto market is also bullish for Trump winning, none of this is bullish for Trump winning or losing or whatever. I don't think any of this, you can't really see anything from this chart at the moment, except that there's a massive anticipation for what's to come. That's what this is. No one knows. This isn't really giving us any hints, okay? But I do think if the market suddenly decides that Trump is going to win, then we're going to get an earlier breakup. Yeah, so the election is the 5th of November, isn't it? So let me just mark that. This is what I was just thinking about this. Yeah, this is the election. Maybe you could argue that all of this is just normal consolidation. There is an expectation, but it's more to do with the Bitcoin halving and the timings and the cycles. It's more to do with that and this kind of air of anticipation of an explosive move to the upside, and the hash rate, Bitcoin's hash rate being at all-time highs. So there's a lot of things to do with everything else and not the election. But I do think that if the market suddenly decides that Trump is going to win or is winning or has won, then we probably should break up here, probably before November 5th. And if we see a breakup there, then I think the market thinks that Trump has won. Yeah, because they're getting in early. It's all priced in early, isn't it? And then obviously when people are positioned in early, Trump wins, then you're looking to just go straight into price recovery. If that happens, I'll be looking for the price to go up earlier after we find support here. Go up, consolidate above that level for an explosive sell the news event. And it will be a sell the news event in a sense, because you could potentially go up, sell the news, but what you're actually trying to do is consolidate here for continuation above these all-time highs. Yeah, so you're basically trying to flip. This will probably be a big alt season here, like your first alt season will be if we get some kind of higher time frame consolidation here, and then the pump will start again in January. That's kind of what I'm imagining. And we could see, potentially we could see what's going to happen in the future if we get a breakout above 70k with a little consolidation and then a Trump rally, which is actually a sell the news event, and then maybe a bit of an altcoin season before we get the mega pump, which is going to probably thinking about January, February, March, like the next year basically. So there's some ideas here, and obviously if the markets are indecisive and the markets aren't sure about what's going to happen, then you've still got these lines here. That's more indecisive, isn't it? Just coming back down to grab liquidity. It's just more technical. No liquidity here, less pumpy, more fear in the market. That's going to be quite scary, and maybe then Trump does win anyway and we go up. And this is the thing, what happens if Trump doesn't win? How are the markets going to react? Well, I mean, I think it's hard to say. No one really knows, because at the end of the day it's about liquidity, but also you could get a situation where whales dump, just whatever, dump the news. So if you do fall down and you can't get back into the value area and Trump loses, then actually we could be going down for liquidity. Yeah, very possible. I think there'll still be a rally. It'll be much more kind of tamed. It'll be a bit more of a tame event. I don't think it's going to be as bullish as, honestly, I think if Trump wins, then it's going to be crazy bullish. I think it's night and day what could happen, Trump winning and the Democrats winning. And most of crypto is counting on Trump to win, hoping that Trump wins, just simply because of the things he's said with regards to crypto. But and also no one wants to see a continuation of the last 4 years with the Democrats in power, because they've been quite anti-crypto, haven't they? They've been quite anti-crypto, and so that's definitely going to have an impact on crypto. we have to see what happens. No one can predict it at the moment. We're looking at indecision, but it's leaning bullish just because we're at the top of the range and we're putting volume at the top range. And on the daily time frame, we're kind of slightly bearish simply because we're just pulling back and trying to find liquidity and support. It's kind of Bitcoin at the moment, and then obviously it's updating every day, so we have to see what happens every day. Just looking at the order flow, just having a look at this. Getting some short center here, increasing OI, decreasing prices. So you've got a bit of short centering the market. We've obviously taken out that low, so that bearish CVD was leading. I said it was, you were getting bullish CVD here, but it was leading because we've taken out the low, that low, so it was actually leading. I said it could be leading, and naturally the price went up, rejected from above the excuse me, daily open, came back underneath, couldn't find any kind of support, and it just head down. Cleared the liquidity and it's just heading down. This is some long squeeze. Look, this is a long squeeze. That's a big long squeeze. Look at that big OI drop. So you're just clearing out some leverage positions, big leverage positions here. Minus 55 million, 53 million CVD. Here, there's another long position being liquidated here. It's not an actual liquidation, it's just closing at market. See that? Shorts coming in, late shorts coming in, longs closing, and then shorts getting squeezed, longs opening, you know, so it's a little bit of choppiness. Potentially we could chop a little bit as well, and I think that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see the price chop around support, hopefully more and more absorption, hopefully, if that's possible. Otherwise it looks like we're getting a little bit of absorption, but it's not bullish enough, you know. It looks like at the moment it's like a head and shoulders pattern actually, so it looks like we've taken out the lows. Let me just have a look at that on the daily time frame, see if we have taken out the low. Not yet. Let me see. Oh yeah, we have, haven't we? Yeah, we have taken out the low. So you see on the daily time frame, we haven't actually taken out this high anyway. So actually the daily time frame, this is the high that was needed to be beaten. It hasn't, we weren't able to take it out. So we were in still daily time frame bearish market structure, but here actually you see on the 4-hour time frame, you're putting in higher highs, you're putting in higher lows, higher highs, and look at that. That's your first kind of lower low, and it looks like we're bearish. It does look like we're bearish. Lower low, lower high, lower low. It looks like we've changed market structure on the 4-hour time frame to bearish. We're coming into support, so I'd be interested to see if the price does go back up to reject, and then this will look like a really bearish pattern, wouldn't it? Look like a head and shoulders pattern. Or is that the right shoulder already? Are we forming the right shoulder as the price drops? It's hard to know. And then obviously a measured move would bring it right down to this high volume node, and then we have to see what happens. Do we get a bounce further down? It's going to get really bearish. Do we go back up? And do we just continue? You know, is this just, are we starting to top out here? Yeah, DXY is pushing us, pushing like there's no tomorrow. Look at that. Oof. Now we're finally coming into some kind of previous volume, previous price action. So potentially, I mean, potentially we should be coming into some kind of higher time frame resistance. But look, it's just DXY is just pumping hard, and that's obviously having an impact on everything. But you know, these pumps, it's pumping hard, and then eventually it will dump hard too. Eventually it will. Let's have a look at gold. Yeah, gold is falling to Bitcoin. No, BTC is falling to gold. There's still some kind of flaggish pattern here. Still stuck in this kind of wider triangle. There's still kind of, there is a little bit of a flaggish pattern here, you see, between gold and Bitcoin. And we have to see how the SPX opens today. It gapped, didn't it? Where is it? It's still kind of consolidating at the highs. Lots of indecision, lots of indecisions in the market.